first section is introducing the story of this family, and it invites the audience into this family's life. And I chose to open it with the family being sitting at the dinner table because I felt that that's a very, especially American thing. It transcends American culture as well, but it's very universal to see families sitting and eating together, and people can relate to that. And so there's this very, common thing to sit and eat and break bread with your family and to have dinner conversations and to kind of get into debates on certain things and to laugh about certain things and to share stories about certain things. And so I wanted to bring this very natural experience to life with movement, which is very challenging actually, because you're like, how do I bring to life this whole scene? I've said it at many dinner tables, but I've never quite danced that whole thing out. But that was a challenge for me to kind of recreate this experience and to be clear, but using movement. So I am inviting the audience into this family like a magnifying glass. We're like zoning in on this family, this one particular family. It's their story. And the story I was inspired by my grandmother and her story, and losing her husband at a young age, being widowed at 31, and being left to raise 4 young children. And so that's kind of what you see in the first piece. You see this father leave the family in a sense, but he passes on, and the mother being pretty much forced to persevere and move forward with her children. And in the story, in my piece, there's 4 daughters, and what that is, and how that's that challenge, the challenge that she's now faced with, but how she can triumph through this and really pull from this like inner strength and this inner virtue that she has as a woman, to really be there for her kids, her family. And so then you see this in the second piece, her kind of having this like one last dance, this final dance with her husband, and she's pretty much dancing with his memory, and she is remembering all those good times and what it was like to experience a love like she had experienced with her husband. And that's what I wanted to portray. And I think that's a love story is something that everybody can touch in some form or fashion, whether it's a personal connection with that or something that you've seen or witnessed. So yeah, I just want to, and then you have in the last section, the family mourning the loss of the father and the husband. And so in that section I am depicting a life story, a family story, and then you see this solo at the end that closes section 1 that is basically moving, dancing, speaking, I guess you would say, as legacy, and how when one does die or pass on, how the legacy that you live, that your life creates, is very important in what people, because I am speaking as me creating this work as a legacy of my grandfather, and how he passed on as a legacy of my grandmother, and how she raised my mother, and then how that was instilled into me. And the things that I choose to do with my life and what I choose to share with the world and give to the world is a part of my legacy. And so that's kind of what I want the audience to kind of sit and chew on at the end of that section, is this whole the idea of, yes, things happen in life, there are tragedies that happen, people die, I guess people say before their time, or but things happen, and then it's not necessarily always about the circumstance, but it's about kind of what you do and how you choose to move forward, and how you choose to enhance the circumstances that you were given. thought of it, and then what your legacy holds and what your legacy entails, which is so much bigger than yourself, so much bigger than your one family. And that's when I want to introduce, kind of expand, I guess you can say, expand from kind of magnifying the glass, this one family, into people kind of opening it up to really include themselves, include their families into this picture, and sit themselves at the dinner table. And that's where, you know, everybody can connect with legacy. Everybody is someone's legacy, and everybody will have a legacy. And so that's kind of where I want the audience to sit and chew on before we move into section 2.